back to my YouTube channel and happy
Valentine's Day!
Today I'm joined with my gorgeous boyfriend Joe, my number one, my partner in crime, because it is Love Day.
She's got me back in for another video.
I had to. It's Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is all about love, cuddles, memories. So today's video is going to be telling you our memories, our story.
Yeah, Megs wants to share our story with you, and to be fair, even I think it's a pretty cool story, so it's probably the one time I'm happy to talk about lovey stuff.
Lovey-dovey. This is one of my favourite stories to tell. It is the hashtag how we met.
We really want to push that.
Yeah,
okay?
so if you guys want to tell us how you met, then use hashtag how we met so we can see your videos or your posts on Instagram. Let us know and we'll come and have a look.
And we'll check them out.
We're big lovers of love.
I'll definitely check them out.
We're big lovers of love, aren't we? We love love.
Yeah. I'm missing the psychedelic mug today.
Yeah, you are. But yeah, so today we're going to be showing you our memories, telling you our love story.
We've done it in, we've got our photo album out.
Yeah.
Let them all out. So we've got lots
Not
of...
a whole photo album, my goodness.
I mean, Meg's has got a Disney photo album, which is one for another day,
Another
which
day,
is
guys.
like that thick. But this is just some of our
personal memories, our
I guess.
favourite kind of photos, memories, what they relate to.
And it also tells a story, so it'll help you guys understand what we're talking about.
Yeah, because the thing is, you guys have met Joe in other videos, but we've never actually told you our relationship story, and it is actually a pretty crazy one. It is one of those write a film, write a book kind of stories.
It should be a book. Or
yeah,
a film.
We're going to make a film. It's decided right now. So let's go back to 2008.
That long ago, really?
That long ago.
Wow.
Oh, wait, don't say that. Oh, God. I hope you're saying it because of the...
No, I mean, 11 years is a long time.
11 years. So, there is a story behind that though, guys. We haven't actually been together 11 years. So, in 2008, in April, it was April.
When we were 13, right?
When we were 13, we were both 13. I was on holiday in Gran Canaria. My family have a timeshare in Gran Canaria. And
so did my family.
So, on a sunny afternoon in April, my nan was in the hot tub with quite a handsome chap. Oh no, I meant someone else. No, I'm joking. And I kind of noticed and thought, hang on, Nan, what's going on here? So I went over and...
So I just want to interrupt at this point, just to give context, okay? I was a shy 13-year-old boy.
Yeah, okay. And so I went over and we started chatting. I think you were with your younger sister at the time, and my nan was there, and eventually when the bubbles had gone and the sun was setting, me and you were still in the hot tub chatting away.
The story kind of really gives it that nice
Even though I was it probably was only like 5 o'clock because I probably had a curfew to be back up at the apartment to go out for dinner.
Anyway, I didn't really know how to talk to Megs. I was shy. I think I can't really remember what we spoke about, but it was probably small talk, awkward small talk.
Actually, I think I remember our siblings coming over, because I think after we got out of the hot tub, our siblings came over and was like, what are you two talking about? Our oldest sibling, remember?
K-S-S-I, what is it when people used to sort of...
Oh, K-I-S-S-I-N-G, winding us up.
Probably something like that, but it would have been small talk. But
yeah.
That's essentially the first time we met. Just
to clarify as well, my memory's terrible, so a lot of this story you're going to have to pick patches, because I've got a terrible memory, haven't I, with remembering things.
Mm-hmm.
So that evening, I think you went out with your family, because obviously we were only young, you went out with your family, you went off the kind of complex area, and I stayed with my family, and we agreed to kind of see each other that night, didn't we?
It's important to understand that even though that was kind of like a 20-25 minute encounter the first time you meet, even then when you're like, well, for me anyway, even when you're 13, you're kind of like, I was obsessed with Megs. Because she was super confident, like way more confident than the girls that I'd met when I was that young. And I mean, that is young, 13. Really.
Yeah, we were really young.
You're in secondary school,
What year
right?
were you in 13? I want to say year 8, but tell me if I'm wrong, guys. I think it's like year...
But the point I'm getting at is from when I stopped speaking to Megs then, I was probably talking to my parents, talking to my sisters, and keep mentioning Megs' name and stuff. So I think it ended up being that we had arranged to both come back from our family meals that evening. Yeah. And then...
So I remember actually because you went...
on a date, I guess.
Yeah, well, I think you went off with your family for dinner and I stayed on complex with mine, and I remember sat kind of in a bar waiting. It was like 10 o'clock and it's getting late, and I was like, oh, is he going to turn up? And then suddenly I saw like 3 people run down the steps past this bar, and there he was in his little sweater vest.
I've got a story about sweater vest, and we'll get to that.
You literally could sweater vest.
Megs, to be fair as well, although very fashionable now, she had, who remembers those sort of Nike light up trainers
they
with
were
the big.
Adidas.
Oh, sorry. No, they were
Adidas with the strip. Which ones?
Reebok even.
No.
Reebok, big thick
Reebok.
bottoms which had the zigzaggy bottoms.
Did they light up?
She had probably.
They
no
probably
idea.
did.
She had those on. I think
With
she
like a denim skirt.
had denim skirt.
So anyway, you actually came down with your older sister and her boyfriend at the time because we went to like the only bar that was Tropicana, the only bar that was on our timeshare at that time. And obviously, I think my parents, your parents felt more comfortable if we went with them because they were older. They were like 16 at the time.
And this is where I'm gutted because we had we had 2 photos that night. We did the traditional,
just
smiley one, and we also did the what used to be very
funny one,
licky face one.
Yeah, a funny one.
That used to be a huge thing, right? On
I
MSN
hate
and
that,
stuff.
licky face.
Put down if you used to use MSN.
Yeah.
But anyway, everyone used to use the licky face, even if it was totally irrelevant to what we were talking about. So it's like, the weather's nice, licky face. It was irrelevant. But anyway, we did that photo. We lost those photos.
Yeah, we lost the photos.
My sister had them on Bebo.
Bebo.
Becky had them on Bebo, who's my sister, for a while. And I desperately tried to find them.
If anyone's seen it.
So unfortunately, we don't have that photo to show. But we do have lots of other ones.
We do. So after that, you were going home the next day. I still had about a couple of... You had, that is literally fate. I met him on his last day of a 2-week holiday. I was there for 7 days. I met him on my 3rd day in. So I had another 4 days. He left that morning. I can't remember much of that morning. I think I came down and said bye, but I really can't remember.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I can't really remember, like...
Were we boyfriend and girlfriend then?
Yeah, I can't really remember if it was even that serious, because you're not...
No, we were boyfriend and girlfriend though.
I just remember really liking Megs, and then not really understanding what, like, a relationship or understanding boyfriend and girlfriend. I've never had a girlfriend.
I hadn't had a boyfriend either at that age.
And we missed like quite a vital bit. Meg's was my first ever kiss.
Oh yeah, so we did kiss that evening, didn't we?
Yeah.
What was that like? I don't know. That was
I just remember as a 13-year-old boy just being like, I'd never kissed a girl before, so I was like...
He's a lovely kisser, guys.
Yeah, now, but then I was like, what am I doing?
Yeah, but that's so nice that we're like first time.
And Meg's had a curfew of like 11 o'clock or like 10:30, and her stepdad...
This is a story.
Like, overwent. Yeah, this is a story for another time. But just
no, this is a story for now. I mean, this is a story that's told by his family and my family still to this day.
So there's lots of balconies behind where we were. We'd had like a cocktail or something, I think.
Yeah, maybe a wicket.
We were probably like 10 minutes over Meg's curfew.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're pushing it. You don't really understand at 13 why your parents are giving you curfews.
Yeah.
Anyway, Megan's stepdad screamed from the top of his lungs.
Megan, get in this apartment right now!
Off the balcony.
We were like,
and
his parents heard it because your apartment was actually underneath mine.
Yeah, that's another really weird detail of the
this
story.
timeshare had like 6 hotels in it, and each hotel had like 500 rooms, and me and you were underneath yours.
So complex.
If you guys want to see it, it's actually in my Gran Canaria vlog. We still go there.
Amphi Del Mar and Gran Canaria.
So we still remember that. I mean, his parents heard the scream, and then straight away he had to take me back, and I think we had a bit of a kiss before that evening, and then I ran home.
That was based...
My nan quickly ran me in the house, and my stepdad didn't shout at me because I was in trouble.
So, and that was basically the first...
Our first meeting.
First and last evening for 4 years?
No, because we saw each other the year after.
Okay, I'm missing out details.
Yeah, so hang on, so
yeah,
just
I mean
really
meaningful, like
meaningful,
what started.
Because once Joe left that day, he left the next morning. I left 4 days later, and I cried all the way home on the plane. And we were actually boyfriend and girlfriend, weren't we? For about 4 or 5 days.
I can't remember crying then.
I cried
because naively I just didn't understand the geographical logistics of. I live in Bristol. Meg's lived in Lincoln,
which is like 3.5 hours
still live
away.
in Lincoln. It's a long way. It's 189 miles, and at 13, you just think,
you didn't even
it's
look,
fine.
Probably.
It's fine. We'll just go on the train.
We'll just be boyfriend and girlfriend and talk over MSN.
My parents will drop me,
yeah.
and it's not really until you get older that you realise, wow, that's like a huge complexity when you first start dating someone.
That's the thing. We were boyfriend and girlfriend. It was over MSN, and I think we lasted about a week, didn't we?
Lasted about a week. I was obsessed with Megs. I got back. I was probably pretty new to using MSN then.
I think,
and I was just like bombarding Megs constantly with like, what are you up to? Like, I remember all the abbreviations of how you write things like...
WUU2.
Yeah, and essentially I think I probably just...
To be honest, at my age.
Oh, cheese spill.
Oh no. Resolved.
All cleaned up.
Yeah.
Where were we?
Yeah, so MSN. So we spoke for a little bit over MSN, and then my fault, I kind of ended it off because, to be honest, at 13,
Max binned me off.
I was very busy because I did a lot of dancing and theatre, and I didn't have much time for a relationship anyway. And to clarify, I then didn't get into a relationship anyway until I was like 17 anyway, so I never really had a lot of boyfriends. So
you're just young, basically.
Just
like
you.
I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh yeah. It's easy to say love at first sight. I think for me and Megs, that probably came a little bit later.
Oh, I'm joking.
Only because when you're 13, it's all different emotions.
Yeah.
It's just like it's nice to say, oh, I got a girlfriend, and you kind of just see it as a
put
thing.
Put it on your MSN name.
As opposed to really being dependent on having that person.
But the fact that we met each other there was super special, wasn't it?
It was crazy. It was crazy. It was like a day before I was going home.
We clicked instantly.
Megs goes there every year. I go there every year. We always went at Easter because that's the time where
I don't always go in Easter though. My family go whenever. Our weeks are in August. We went Easter that year because we couldn't go in August.
Yeah, I mean,
I would have never met
anyone in those
you.
time shows know that you kind of like
move
it's
them
different
around
point
if you want.
system and things. So, but my parents always went in Easter.
Yeah. So it's just so fate, wasn't
so
it?
that's kind of that part of the.
That part. Okay, so fast forward a year on, and we went to Amphi again. I saw you, you saw me, but we hadn't spoke before. It was unplanned, and you were actually there. Your week actually matched with mine for a whole week, so we saw each other for a whole week, but we didn't actually spend time together that year, did we? I went with my family and my brother, who was at university at the time and hadn't spent much time with him, so I was very obsessed to spend all my time with him, and you kind of didn't want to spend time with me.
That's not true. But I think I used to play football every day because they got like football courts and stuff there.
Kids club.
And I just did teenager-based things, and we hadn't really spoke the year or like leading up to it. So essentially, as far as I kind of knew,
we kind of had attitudes as well. We didn't really want to speak to each other that year. I don't know why. It felt awkward.
But I think for me personally, like the year previous, obviously, when you're dumped, or for me, the first time you ever dumped, it's just kind of like she doesn't like me, so you're just like screw you. Yeah. So I didn't make any effort, and I hold my hand up front. Don't judge me. Don't judge me.
No judgment.
But to be fair, the week that we're talking about when Megs went for her brother, I was still kind of like, I desperately wanted to see Megs. And if the right situations would have aroused, then probably we would have spent more time together.
Just weren't the right age then either.
If I wasn't very good when the year before, when Megs actively was interested in me because I was a shy boy, then a year later I'd not really become much less shy.
It just didn't work that year, did it? So the year after, I didn't go in April. And you did. You always go in April, but as I said, my weeks weren't fixed. We went a different time. I think I went in June that year.
That's kind of that year.
That was that year. And then 2011, the year after that, we saw each other again.
And we were 17.
We were 17. So bear in mind.
Wait, 14, 15, 16, 17.
So bear in mind, we hadn't spoke since we'd seen each other 2 years before, because we didn't see each other the year before. It's been 2 years, and we were both 17. A lot happens from you 13 to 17. My gosh. You just feel differently. So I felt like it was a massive change from my point of view.
Yeah, I mean, definitely for me as well. For whatever reason, like 15, 16, 17.
You grew.
I just grew up and ended up finding myself finally being amazingly being confident speaking to girls. And not actually kind of feeling embarrassed I mean, if you're a guy and you're being honest, you know exactly what I mean. When you're at school in the initial kind of years when you basically you don't know how to speak to girls, and anytime you do, you probably muck it up by saying something stupid. All of that had gone. All of this kind of expectational stuff had gone, and I was just confident. I'd probably I was in sixth form then, right?
Yes, and so was I.
So I'd left mainstream secondary school.
Yeah, was I in sixth form?
I think you were in academy because you were slightly different for you.
No. You were in upper sixth and I was in lower sixth. 3 year difference.
So anyway, everything kind of was pointing towards the fact that we'd grown up, we'd matured.
Yeah, so let's tell a bit about that year. So that year, obviously, I went in April. The minute my parents said we were going at that time of year, I thought, Joe. I don't know why I thought of him, I just thought, I hadn't seen him the year before, so we didn't go at that time of year.
Yeah, and pause. I'd actually looked at Meg's Facebook profile before going, the same thing that I think you said you did. Just out of interest to think, will Meg's be going?
So I did the same thing. So I think I actually, when I got there in April, I obviously didn't know your dates, obviously, but it was April, and I remember going into a reception where like the computer area was, and I actually tried to find him on Facebook, and I saw a profile picture, and I was like, damn, that boy got
See, that's another part of the character that obviously has developed. Suddenly, I was kind of like wearing my own clothes, picking my own clothes. Being honest, I probably the sweater vest from when I was 13, my mum probably chose.
The sweater vest is no more,
some
guys.
interesting
I'm really sorry
clothes
to
then. And yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, so I kind of found her on Facebook, I thought, oh my gosh, she's really, really hot. And I'd actually been there for like 3 or 4 days. I was only there for 7 days, I was only there for a week. Been there for 3 or 4 days and I'd seen no sign. Then I was around the pool. Mind you, there's about 6 or 7 pools at Amphi. We always go to a different pool than you. I was around this pool and I swear I saw Joe's younger sister. So me and my mum, shout out to my mum, my best friend who was with me the whole way, me and her got up and actually followed Joe's younger sister. By the way, girls, I'm sure you guys have done stuff like this before, but by the way, Joe's younger sister doesn't know about this, we laugh about it all the time, so thanks Pops for being so understanding. But me and my mum followed her, and actually when we got back to the next pool, just a pool over, there he was. So I was stalking you a bit. And honestly, the minute I saw him, I was like, oh my gosh, he was so gorgeous. Like tanned. And
I love this bit of story. Every time Megan tells a story, it's so good.
Yeah, but he was so tanned, muscular, grown up. He was a man. Do you know what I mean? He was a man. He wasn't a boy
by the way, I wasn't
anymore.
actually that muscular at this point.
Yeah,
I was more muscular when I was 15.
But I was nervous and I couldn't have just gone over and said hi. Of course, girls, you know how it is. So me and my mum just went back to the pool and I knew he was there. That evening, we went up to happy hour near our hotel, which is called Monty, so that's the type of complex. And we were sat playing Uno, having happy hour, as you do, and 2 people walked past me, and one of them, I swear, looked like Joe's older sister, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then suddenly, walked past me, straight away just walked past me, and like, he was literally inches from me, and I was like...
And at this point, I didn't actually know Megs was there.
I've never had feelings like it, I swear to God, honestly guys, I've never had feelings. I had, like, even my stepdad was laughing at me because he saw a change in me. I had butterflies, I felt sick, oh my God. So that night, I remember looking over you in the pool, and Joe was like doing pull-ups, and I thought, does he know I'm there because he's doing pull-ups?
So I think I discovered Megs was actually looking over, like...
So that was the first time you saw me or not?
Yeah, that was obviously the first time I saw you, but I wasn't quite sure.
Yeah, of course, because I wasn't sure when the first time I saw you either.
But for the record, I always did pull-ups.
Oh, okay, fine. It wasn't just for me.
But then when we went up to the apartment, I did definitely look out to see, was that Megs, wasn't that Megs? And same as Megs, it's just all this apprehension about, wow, and you're like anticipating.
Yeah, it was so exciting. So that evening, my family was so good. We normally do go off complex and eat. That night, they were like, no, we're going to stay in and you can see if you see him. So we ate on a restaurant that was on the Square Plaza just to see, and we sat on the end table just to see if he would walk past for any reason at all.
And the crazy thing was, we went off complex, but I wanted to rush back. I rushed back, I went downstairs, I think we missed each other.
You walked down, you said you were walking in the market stall at like a certain time, and I'd already gone up, but only just.
So we literally just passing ships and missed each other, but the intent was there, so.
Yeah. So, I'm going to rest my leg on you, got pins and needles. So then, the next day, I was obviously gutted because he didn't come down, and I thought if he did see me, then he would have wanted to come down, so he wasn't obviously interested. I thought he actually had a girlfriend at that time.
All of these things that go through your head, and like...
So the next day, I was at the same pool I was at the day before, kind of feeling a little bit dejected, didn't think anything of it, sunbathing, and then there was a water polo game on at my pool. Looked over.
I used to always play water polo. You know, all these sort of
he and all his family were playing water polo, weren't you?
Amphi do all of these like sort of family-friendly games.
So I was like, instantly I saw him, I was like, oh my God, right, hair, bikini, body, tuck in, sit up good, pull the towel nice, and like always trying to look really good. And I think...
And I was probably trying to be super aggressive, water polo, look masculine.
But you actually looked over and you waved.
Yeah, I did.
You
Because like I
did.
said, suddenly have confidence.
You just did this really big wave and I was like...
Whereas like, when I was 13, like, you know when you do that thing where you actually actively try to not look at someone,
Yeah,
so you're like,
oh, I hate you. But this time I was like, oh my god, hi, and I was like, oh my god, hi. So then afterwards you went in the hot tub and I was like, oh god. He was so close to where my sunbed was and the hot tub was closed and we could see each other and all of your family were like sat in like your siblings, not your mum and dad, but you were sat in a section of that hot tub just so you could look this way at me. You didn't sit the other side, it was a round hot tub and they sat facing me and I was like...
So, I love because you can hear both sides of the thing. So Meg's obviously sat in sunbed, I was sat with my family, my sister and, my two sisters.
Yeah, and her boyfriend at the time.
Yeah, were
Joe, it was Joe, yeah.
Was it Joe?
Yeah, it was Joe.
Yeah,
It was Joe, yeah.
And,
sorry, that's our brother-in-law now, yeah.
Brother-in-law now, yeah, crazy. They were obviously teasing me and like saying like, go on, go speak to her, and
but you didn't.
I didn't initially go speak to her only because it was kind
of... You were angry.
I think I was slightly.
And I thought you had a girlfriend.
Slightly annoyed. Yeah, Meg thought I had a girlfriend.
So I actually got up, flip-flops on, put my sarong around my waist, like struck it past the hot tub on the way to the toilet, wink wink. My mum was like, why don't you just go to the toilet casually walk past? And then as on my way back...
I love your mum, wing woman. Yeah.
Yeah. And as on my way back, he was just getting out of the hot tub, so I was like, oh hi. And then we started chatting and then we went for a walk, didn't we, just the two of us, and I remember going over to my mum and sat down saying, oh, can I have a key for the gate so you can get in and out? And my stepdad was like, why do you want a key? I was like, it's not for the room. I was like 17, I was like, it's not for the room.
But, and this is what normally people would say, and the rest is history, but it wasn't, because that was really just the beginning. So I just want to interrupt for 2 seconds and actually show a photo that we got from
so this photo,
year.
so this photo is actually taken by my mum, and we spent the day. I think we walked around the mini golf course, walked along the beach. We walked all afternoon from 12 until 6. We went in the pool. My mum bought us over a happy hour Coke. You didn't actually drink Coke at the time, I don't think, did you? And we took that photo.
I think, I've never really drank Coke, but...
And in the pool we had our first kind of kiss of that year, didn't we? And then we said, did we go...
Of which, to clarify, I was then comfortable kissing.
More confident.
Just so you all don't think I'm lame.
I was confident, I wasn't as confident when we first kissed either, so it's more the age thing.
Rubbish.
Did we go out for dinner that night?
Yeah, so we went out for food.
Oh, I remember, because you told me your room number and I told you the wrong room because we had different weeks, we were always in different rooms. And I came to knock on the door at your apartment and Joe answered and you were like, you quickly slammed your bathroom door and I thought you was being really rude.
I just had a shower.
And you were naked in the shower.
A bit forward.
Too soon. So I got there and I remember going in the room and Joe Dye was like, okay, sorry, that's our brother-in-law. He was like, come on in, and all of Joe's family were there and I'd not even met them, and they gave me loads of food because you guys were leaving the next day. Again, he was leaving the next day.
So imagine that, you're 13, you meet each other for a day and you get cut short. Basically identical situation, other than being 17, happened that year, so we had one night to basically spend time together.
So we went out for dinner. I remember he knocked on my door and I didn't know what to wear and I was really excited when you came in and it was lovely, wasn't it? I walked out and it was just so nice.
I can still remember what Mags was wearing now. You look very pretty.
Thank you. You look lovely too. We went out.
By the way, I've never let Megs get rid of this outfit. It's still in the
wardrobe. I don't wear it anymore, but it's like a memory one. But we went out for dinner. I don't know if other girls do this. We went to an Italian down in the complex. And I ordered a starter for my main because I was so nervous and it was Italian and I was like, oh my god, what do I order? What if things get in my teeth? What if I slurp it everywhere? And you ordered the messiest option. What did you order?
I ordered a big spaghetti bolognese. Yeah. No, not spaghetti bolognese, carbonara.
I would have had to know that as well. Obviously he knows me now. I eat loads now.
Yeah.
I had a bruschetta. It was small. But I was nervous.
But that evening, you were obviously nervous. And
I was so nervous. And then we went for cocktails. You paid for the food. It was a cheap night for you. I didn't have a starter. And then we went for cocktails happy hour, and I ran away and paid for the drinks, which is really cute. And then the next morning we had to say bye, didn't we? Because Joe lived in Bristol, I lived in Lincoln, and that's kind of where the long distance relationship started, which I think is a really good point to talk about, because a lot of people might have long distance relationships.
You've missed a bit of the story. So the day that I was leaving, we'd agreed to sort of go down to reception, and I was waiting there for about half hours, and Megs came down, and to be fair, she was pretty dejected. And yeah, like Meg said, if there's one thing from this video, people that have been in long distance relationships or are going to be embarking on one, that's kind of like the scariest moment, because you're suddenly like in this bubble where
it's a holiday romance, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a holiday romance.
But holiday romances normally last while you're on holiday, and we knew when we were 13 we tried to make it work, and obviously regardless of age we tried to make it work.
But there was a different feel to it, because when we were 13, I didn't even really comprehend the prospect of being in a relationship, a long distance relationship. I just fancied you, the girl. Whereas when you're 17, you actually then all of these logistics, like
because you could drive then.
I could drive, I passed my test. And all of these crazy things, and I remember being super positive and optimistic, and you really struggled at the time.
I really struggled because I knew I couldn't drive. I knew how far away it was.
And Megs was just super concerned, and I said, like, I promise we'll see each other. And I was adamant. Anything, for the record, anything I put my mind to, I always stick to. And I was adamant in that moment that, like, for whatever reason, like,
it was horrible.
I mean, without sounding cliche, we'd fell in love, obviously, initially. When you're 13 on whatever sort of trivial level that is, but then it really was like we were like.
I honestly, I completely believe in soulmates. I completely believe that Joe is my soulmate. I think after everything that you've heard already, the fact that we met with like 1 day apart, we met out of the whole world, we met there on the 1 day of our holiday that you were just.
But it takes a lot. Anyone who's been in a relationship to get that urge to feel that, like, you just have an instinctive feeling that, like, right, I need to now problem solve to make sure that I can spend more time with this person.
See this person.
And it was just obvious for me. It was just so clear from that moment.
I think the minute you got home, you actually looked on Google Maps to see how far, because you didn't even know where Lincoln was, did you?
I obviously went home, got back. Megs was, and this was the horrible thing for Megs. She was still there for. I thought it was a week, but we were Facebook messaging, not MSN, because MSN had died a death at this point.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. I don't know why MSN died.
That was a bit bad,
so then became Facebook Messenger when Facebook was at kind of its peak of social. And we were just messaging back and forth. And
and you actually suggested, I think I got back on like the Monday, and you were like, I can come to you from Thursday to Sunday, how's that? And I was so nervous to actually ask my parents, like my mum and my stepdad, and like, because my stepdad's quite strict, but he was so open and was like, yeah, that's fine. And I was like, oh my god, okay, now I have to tell this boy that it's okay to come to my house, and oh my god, my bedroom, I've got Twilight posters in it, and it's paint with flowers.
Yeah, huge Twilight posters. And the same mine, I came home, my dad actually runs a chauffeur company, he's got his own business. So fortunately I was able to kind of say, like, Megs lives in Lincoln, I'm thinking about going.
Yeah.
I think I remember my parents being really, really worried and concerned because...
You had a long drive, you never drove that far.
I've not passed my test that long. It's 189 miles, 3.5 hours.
On your own.
But anyway, we decided, no, we're going to see each other. Meg's got home and...
We planned it. So the Thursday came around.
I drove up.
Oh god, yeah.
And I had a nightmare. It was my first time driving that long distance.
You did really well.
Everything was going fine. Sat-nav tripped the fuse in the fuse box in the glove compartment. So the car, the
minute you rolled into my drive,
basically something happened with the battery drained. Stopped at the services or something. Tried to start the car again. Battery was dead. And I was just like, oh my god. So there was all of these sort of like logistical things where you're like, it's so far. The car alarm's not working. And I was thinking to my dad, like how like what would you do? And he was like, well, you're half. I was saying I was like halfway at this point. So I think I can't remember what I did. But whether the sat nav.
I think they gave you an alternative to sort it out there and then, so you managed to get the rest of the journey. So I think it was like an hour left.
So I
carried on. The minute you rolled into my drive, it just wouldn't start again at all. So you
basically had to keep the car. Yeah, I had to keep the car going because basically the battery was dud. So.
Just had to keep going.
So I got to Meg's eventually. I was obviously nervous, super apprehensive about where Meg's had lived. And who else does this? It's crazy. When you're about to do something or experience something, you imagine in your head, like, what is their house like or what's that person's life like? Because
I remember my mum asking you, like, what did you like for tea?
Gran Canaria before that.
Yeah, and bikinis, sea, sun, everything perfect.
Suddenly I was going to her house, and it was just a crazy period, and even now it's still so vivid. Like,
I can remember
going up to Meg's house for the first time was a big deal, especially at 17.
Yeah, and also, can we bear in mind, guys, at this point we weren't boyfriend and girlfriend.
No.
When he first came up to me, we weren't boyfriend and girlfriend. This is the first time we see each other. We'd only spent a day together on holiday, but we just knew, and he made the effort. Can I just say, with long distance relationships, it's all about effort, and this boy right here made so much effort, honestly. Because
like I said, you should only do it if it's instinctive, and for me it was instinctive that I desperately
we actually
need
have
to see.
a photo from the first time you came up to my house. this one.
Yeah, so
actually on this, so when Joe came up to me, the day after we planned to go to Alton Towers with my friends because he had a car and I thought it was really cool. We go to Alton Towers. I've never had a guy with a car
I still
before.
remember that so well.
I do. And we went to Alton Towers, he drove us. Luckily the car was fixed, the AA guy, and you still drove. And we went there, it was amazing, wasn't it? It was a gorgeous day. And that was like our first photo together. But we still went together at this point. But then that evening we got back and it was like 12 o'clock at midnight. And you asked me to be your girlfriend, didn't you?
Yeah.
It was lovely. And I remember getting in bed that night, we were in separate rooms. And I texted you saying, good night, boyfriend.
Yeah.
Remember that?
It's crazy.
It's cute.
I know all of these sort of things to people that are watching this video seem small and they seem...
No, my followers love the lovey-dovey.
No, I get that. But like driving somewhere and it all seem like trivial small things. But when you combine all of those things along with the fact that we'd met when we were 13 and now... you find yourself 4 years later driving to this girl's house that you never thought you'd see again, and all of a sudden you're asking her to be your girlfriend.
That was the scary thing though. After that point, right, we'd already, so coming back off holiday, we'd arranged when we were going to see each other, but after that, Joe was in his last year of A-level, so he had loads of exams, so I didn't see him then for 6 weeks.
AS or A-levels?
No, you were in your last one.
Of course it's A.
So I was in, so with this, we didn't see each other for 6 weeks. The next time we would be at his house, and I was really nervous to go to your house.
So I remember.
So I had to get the train because I didn't drive.
I remember leaving Meg's house. I think I had like 3 or 4 days, and on one hand being super elated at the fact that like, oh my god, I got a girlfriend, but on the other hand being incredibly
my girlfriend is ages away.
like terrified at the fact that like I'd had this terrible journey. Of which I had to drive back, so I was thinking,
and you had work the next day.
Because another little bit of context. I worked at a part-time job the whole time I was studying at Morrison's.
Yeah.
And I could just remember just thinking like, wow, this is one of those things where, in that moment, you make a huge life decision because if you're serious enough in that relationship, you then know that the reality of being with that person would mean travelling 3.5 hours every time you want to see them. Of course, you can ring them. And you can speak to them over,
I think it's really important with long distance relationships. I think it's really important communication because you don't see each other a lot. And luckily,
Skype,
Skype, FaceTime, that was amazing. And we just always having a date in the diary to see each other, regardless if it was 6 weeks. It gave us something to look forward to because obviously back then we were at school. We had to plan around half terms. So it was like Feb half term when Valentine's Day was.
I used to study like crazy, which I've always done because that's just me. And it used to get to a Wednesday afternoon and we used to have 3 periods, and on my free period that would be when I would drive up to Meg's and we would have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday and I would leave Saturday evening and for work on Sunday morning, and that would be like the extent of our like physical face-to-face relationship for like every 6 weeks or every 4 weeks.
But we made that work, didn't we? And then it came around to August. We were obviously together in April. That's our anniversary. Then it came around to August, and my family had another week left in Amphi, so they invited Joe.
And that was incredible. That was awesome.
That was like things
and
like
this
that.
Is where we're just going to explode with photos now.
So there's that picture. So this was taken by my mum. We went out for some food. We went for a Mexican.
Can I just say as well, look at the curls in my hair. I used to have the same
haircut.
I used to think I was really. She thought I was attractive, but I can't believe with a hair
I thought it was
like
absolutely gorgeous. You're obviously still gorgeous now. I just like such memories of
I had like one leg all the way over.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. So I know I've just remembered one. So the first time I went out to Joe's, obviously it was fine. My train went all right, and then it was his birthday in the June. So we saw after the 6 weeks, we saw each other in May, and then I knew his birthday was early June, and we planned to not see each other. You came up and I gave you all your presents to take back, which by the way were like 5 or 6 things. I had no idea what to get him. I'd only been with him for 2 months and we hadn't seen each other a lot, so I knew you, but I didn't know you as well as I know you now. But I'd actually planned to surprise him with his mum and dad. I surprised him, so I got the train. I had the worst train journey. I've never been on a train.
So now that the roles had reversed.
Yeah, I'd never been on a train before, and Lincoln to Bristol had like 3 changes. It was so crazy. And I remember going into Nottingham, and then the train, I had to change at Nottingham, but the train came back out of Nottingham because there was an accident or something, so I had to get off, walk through the city of Nottingham on my own as a 17-year-old girl, and get a bus to take me to Derby to get on another train. By the time I got there, I should have been there at like 8 for the evening with Joe. I got there at 11:30.
And this is the bit I loved.
Picked me up.
So I had been at Morrison's, I think. I came home.
His birthday was the next day.
My routine, we always, bless my mum, used to always be the same. I'd rush home from work. I would scoff my tea down, still in my Morrison's work
uniform.
do. And then I would have a shower quickly and speak to Megs on the evening. So that was the exact same thing I was doing that evening. I rushed to have my tea, got in the shower, and then I was in the shower still. My dad said, like, called me down.
Yeah, to help you with something in the garage or something, wasn't it?
Which is not uncommon. My dad always sort of shouts me to come down, so I don't think anything of it. Came all the way downstairs. I was just in my yellow fluorescent Liverpool shorts. Had no clue, and
I jumped out behind the curtain and said surprise.
And in a box.
No, they wanted to put me in a box, but I'd been on a train or travelling for like 6 hours. I was desperate for a wee. Your dad's like, get in this box, and we put a ribbon around it, and I was like, I'm not getting in a box. Like, we still laugh at it now.
This is really
literally just wanted to see him and say surprise, and
it was incredible. I can still remember that feeling now, just complete.
I think you kind of knew that, didn't you? You kind of thought I was going to be there.
No, not at all.
But it was exciting because then the next day was his birthday.
Honestly, I was completely shocked, and for me, that was literally the best present.
It was your 18th as well, by the way. It was his 18th birthday. I really didn't want to miss it. It was such a massive birthday.
I still remember that so clearly now.
This is your birthday, these. So this is the photo from your birthday that we had taken. So look, you're in your little shirt.
Yeah, I was top man.
Top man, and this one. We had kissy photos that your mum took. We were like, take more photos of us. And that was your birthday. It was the 18th. We went out for a meal.
And we've actually got this little video.
Yeah.
Which is from that evening.
So cute. So yeah, so we were completely head over heels, weren't we? And I was only there for like 3 days and I got the train back. I wasn't super excited for the train back, but it was lovely. So
which is incredible. I still remember that so clearly. And then, I mean, that's basically, in a nutshell, the way that we kind of met, and the relationship just evolved from there to eventually we went on more Amphi holidays together.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's quite recent.
That's our most recent picture.
But if you look at all the years.
Yeah, there's another one there.
We kind of.
We've grown up.
We've basically grown up with each other,
and that
because
one, eating milkshakes and waffles.
That was when Megs came down.
Yeah, that was your birthday. That was the weekend after your birthday. I bought you that T-shirt.
Who wears sunglasses in an elevator?
You do. That was Egypt. We went to Egypt together. This is also Egypt. So this is our first holiday on our own. We went all inclusive to Egypt. It was like, we've been together a couple of years at that point, hadn't we? This was a little video from Egypt.
And for me personally, I mean, I don't know if you agree, but I think from like the age of 15, probably 16 up to sort of like 22, they were such informative years of your life. So like, to be with someone that ultimately experiences all of those years of your life, I mean, everyone's got different outlooks on it. But for me personally, I'm very traditional, grown up with sort of traditional morals surrounding like life partners and soulmates and that sort of thing. So for me, the fact that me and Megs had met each other in such extraordinary circumstances and it had morphed in such an organic way, I can honestly say it's never been an effort to sort of be in a relationship with Megs. It's just been effortless. And I think that's so important, because there's no way you can do a long distance relationship unless you're obsessed with the person.
We did do really well though. We did like 6 months long distance, and eventually Joe came to live with my
The story
family.
eventually escalated to me leaving my job, a part-time job, which again was huge at the time. It was my only financial income. I got a small part-time job in Currys, would you believe?
Yeah.
As just a salesperson, which.
Yeah. Well, I was doing my last year of sixth form, because I couldn't move, and then the minute I finished my last year, I moved to Bristol, which is a big deal, and I probably didn't.
And we've been grinding it out since.
Yeah. So
from a work standpoint.
Yeah. So we've been living together now for. Well, we've been together 8 years in April, so a couple of months and we've been together 8 years.
And it's just flown. I still feel now like I'm 17. I still remember the things that we did when we were 17. We still do most of them now, but
what we always like to do is every year we always go back to Amphi. We always go back to Amphi because we feel like that's our place. That's where we met. It's so important.
And I think one day it would only be right and in keeping that's maybe where we get married.
Yeah, that would be.
That would be like a dream scenario, because it would just sort of like conclude and go full circle to where it all began. And look, love stories are cliched, but Valentine's Day is something to be celebrated. I know obviously it's heavily commercialised, but
yeah. So interestingly, Valentine's Day is. You don't have to celebrate it, or Galentine's Day if you want to do something with the girls, but we always like it, don't we? And I feel like this video is very, very relevant.
And it's important to remember to just celebrate relationships as well, because obviously mine and Meg's is about boyfriend and girlfriend, but in general, everyone's got an amazing story about how they met someone that's so
lovely.
important and special in their life. And I personally absolutely love, every time someone talks to me now about like the way they met their partner, or the ones I really, really love are the people in the gym. Me and Meg's love go to the gym in the morning.
Yeah.
And it's predominantly a demographic of the older generation.
Yeah.
And hearing their stories about like...
So lovely.
Because it was common, once upon a time, it was common to actually fall in love, what they used to call, you'd be courting, and you would be with that person for life, and that's was kind of, and I know obviously now in society it's not uncommon that people are in lots and lots of relationships, but
we just
I love hearing those stories.
Obviously it's our relationship, so we're gonna find it special, but it is such a lovely story. We love telling it.
Well, I love when you hear other people's stories as well, because you can really resonate to it if you've got some similarities. And long distance relationships are difficult.
Yeah, so if you guys
I sympathise with anyone
if you guys do have any questions about long distance relationships or anything you want to know more of, we've only slightly touched upon that, but just let me know in the comments, because we can do another kind of
we really
Q&A about that.
We have kind of glamorised, but it is hard.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember having to make big long timelines on the wall when Megs would come down, and we'd use felt tips and highlighters, and we would both kind of like reassure each other when we'd see each other, but it was big gaps. It was like sometimes like 2 months before you would be able to just see each other.
And also financially it was hard, because we were only 17, you only had a job, I didn't have a job because I was doing a lot of acting and musical theatre, so I didn't have time for a part-time job. So it's money to for you to put fuel in your car, and then when you actually got here, what would we do that wouldn't cost so much money? And
I've got one top tip.
What, for long distance?
If you do long distance relationships and you drive a lot to go see the person on the other side, don't speed. Because I was pretty good. I used to drive pretty sensibly, but after I've been doing it I must have drove up to Lincoln about 10, 12, maybe,
more than that.
Yeah, probably maybe about 15, 20 times. And by the end of it, you get to this where any way you can save time.
Just be with that person.
A couple of times I sped, and I eventually got caught out, and it just saying it doesn't pay. Because I got 3 points, a £65 fine, and I had to be basically driving like Miss Daisy.
And he wasn't in a good mood that day, were you?
No.
So it didn't help anyway. It got to me quicker, and it didn't really help.
So I always from then on drove up to Meg's 70 miles an hour.
Blessing in disguise, really, wasn't it?
So don't speed.
So that is our love story, as you like. That is #how we met. As Joe said, we love to hear stories. So let us know yours in the comments or on Instagram.
We're really going to be spreading
the love.
Yeah, really on Instagram. Use the hashtag, because
#how we met. I hope you guys really enjoyed this story. Like I said, if you have any other questions for us about long distance relationships, we're planning to do a couple more story times as well, aren't we? Together.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
I think Megs wants to do one. I think Megs wants to do one about Disney. Because we've got a huge Disney album, and it'd be great.
And we actually not vlogged for you guys, but in 2015 when we last went, which was like 4 years ago.
Megs was a vlogger long before.
I actually filmed our trip to Disney World, so you guys have to let us know if you guys want to see that. It's edited very differently to our videos now, but it was super fun.
I think it was edited on Windows Movie Maker.
Yeah. The old day styling. But that's another thing. So let us know if you guys enjoyed it by giving it a big
thumbs up,
and remember to subscribe to this channel. We hope you all have a lovely Valentine's Day with your loved ones. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye guys.
Bye.